Hey guys, you're about to listen to the Lazy Giants video game podcast. If you want to see and hear some more things that we do, head over to lazygiants.com.
What's up, everybody? This is our video game podcast. We have one for movies, so why not one for games as well? So what we're going to do here is just go through some gaming news stories and talk about what we're playing. There's not really much structure to this. So the usual team, me, John, and I am joined by Evan.
Hey.
Evan, what are you playing lately?
Well, it's, what's the date? Is it October yet?
It is officially, as of this recording, the 1st of October.
Okay, so it's October 1st. I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5.
For the past month.
For the past month. So that's what I've been playing. In between, I've been playing the Mad Max game from Avalanche Studios, which I recently just got rid of because that game is garbage.
Well, it got decent reviews.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to the normal consumer, that is, the game is loaded with content. I mean, there's so much shit to do in that game. It's unreal. But, you know, I'm playing a Mad Max game. What do you think when you think Mad Max?
I think Valhalla and mediocre.
Yeah, and in cars and chases and that dude with the guitar.
Do the enemies scream mediocre?
They scream lots of inaudible things, but I don't know. I'm playing it. I'm like, okay, the map is literally loaded with things to do. You open up your map, and it's like, here's 4,000 things to do. So I'm doing them. I'm like, okay, I'm destroying things to bring down the enemy control of the territory.
What you're describing is a Warner game, because all their games suffer from Batman games, suffer from that. That Lord of the Rings, that's not Lord of the Rings, suffer from that.
Shadows of Mordor, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's a lot like those. It's actually a lot like Far Cry as well. There's just so much stuff to do. And at one point, well, maybe I should. One of the cool things about Mad Max is that you have your car and you need to put gas in it. Like, you just can't drive around infinitely like in Grand Theft Auto. You have to keep fuel in the tank. And, you know, that I was like, this is fucking sweet. I have to find gas cans. But then all of a sudden, I was in a race for some fucking reason.
Because every open world game needs to have a race.
Needs to have a race. And I'm like, okay, so we're racing cars with a valuable fluid. Anyways, so I'm doing the race. Once you complete the race, you win the race. And now at this particular station, you've unlocked a infinite gas resource. So now I can just go back there, load up on gas. So it's like, well, okay. And then there's those dotted across the map. I don't know. It's just like the car combat, the car physics feel great. Your cars are loud, they're mean, they're sluggish fucking things. But then, like, there's car combat, and the beginning of the game, you have a shotgun that holds, like, 2 bullets, and then you have a harpoon, and it just really comes down to ramming cars with your car.
For me, 2 things killed this game right off the bat. I have not played it. I have no plans on playing it. I will say that graphically, it looks incredible.
It's impressive. 60 frames a second. Unbelievable.
Two reasons I had no interest in this game. One was the obvious. It came out day and date with Metal Gear Solid. That was an instant bad choice right there from the publisher. And number 2, Batman combat, don't care.
Yeah, the Batman combat is there. It's not as... It's actually pretty much the same thing. It's just more brutal, really. I mean, you have your quick takedowns like in Batman. You can take down an enemy after a combo. You have that in this game, except it's a kill. You literally... turn into Brock Lesnar and German suplex the shit out of motherfuckers. And that was pretty cool when I did that for the first time and smashed a guy's face in that way. But after a while, you know, Max is too floaty in the environment. So you're exploring these really tight, I guess they're just like...
Let me ask you
they're
this.
bases, and it's stupid.
Let me ask you this. So far, you've played Batman. You did not like Batman.
I did not like Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. You played Mad Max.
Yeah.
Did not like Mad Max.
Did not like Mad Max.
Are you concerned about what Just Cause 3 will turn out to be?
Yeah, actually, that's Warner Brothers. That's Square Enix.
Yeah, that's Square.
Yeah, but I mean, it's.
I guess Avalanche didn't have anything to do with Batman, so yeah.
Yeah, so.
But apparently, it was the A team that did Mad Max, and the B team is working on Just Cause.
I like Just Cause 2, other than its shitty fucking shooting mechanics, like. But I think with the destructible environment and the focus on single player, I think they have a really good. I think it'll be good. Will I pick it up? Probably not.
Well, that's a December game.
That comes at an interesting time, yeah. So, I've got like so many games coming out in November that
Yeah, well, see, December for me was torn between Hitman and that, but now Hitman's got pushed, and who knows what that game actually is anymore. So
Hitman, that's the game that needs a pie chart to explain how you're purchasing.
So we should talk about that. What is actually happening with the new Hitman game? Because to me, that and the new Deus Ex, the marketing for both those games.
Good news about Deus Ex, that stupid pre-order thing has been fucking canceled.
Yeah, so anybody who doesn't know, basically there were pre-order tiers for Deus Ex. What is it? Mankind Divided?
Yeah, Mankind.
Is that the newest one? Yeah.
That's sad.
So basically what that meant was that depending on the amount of pre-orders the game got, different pre-order bonuses would unlock, similar to how a Kickstarter works.
Yeah.
But not really. So it actually made no sense.
The thing was weird because you had 5 tiers. Your first tier, you could choose between 3 different costumes. You could choose one of the 3 costumes. Tier 2, you could choose a music sampler or something else. You had to choose between what you wanted to get. I'm pre-ordering the fucking game. I should be able to get it all. And that's essentially what happened.
It was basically just an excuse so I could go pre-order the game and be like, oh, hey man, go pre-order it, because if you don't, then we might not get this really cool bonus.
Yeah.
Which right away is, to me, them saying fuck the fans, because
And tier 5 was, the game comes out 4 days earlier. Of course it's going to come out. But now they canceled it. You pre-order the game, you get everything they announced except the early release. It's coming out February 23rd, which thank God. And before we move on to Hitman, I just want to talk about the collector's edition. Kind of had the same thing. You could go on their website, choose 3 things you want to see in the collector's edition. So from what I understand is that you get a 9-inch Adam Jensen figurine, you get a 40-page mini comic book or art book, and you get a steel case and all of the pre-order DLC. They want the MSRP on that is $200 Canadian for a 9-inch figure, a mini art book, and a fucking steel case.
Well, we're not even going to get into the topics of my thoughts on pre-ordering
$200
and special editions, because I think it's all garbage. But we're not going to talk about that right now, because that's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other podcast.
So Hitman, this is a mess. Who's developing that?
IO Interactive.
Okay, so
IO.
Or is it Square publishing that?
Square is publishing.
I think it was Square who released this. A pie chart, basically.
No, it wasn't basically. It was a straight up pie chart.
On what the Hitman game actually is. And by that I mean
So the Hitman game,
what you get when you buy Hitman, which is not the complete
game's
game.
a mess. The marketing,
Even if you pay $60 for the game, it's not
doing the
right away.
strangest things with marketing.
So my understanding is
And now with just
in March,
PS3,
I think the game got
you can
pushed
win
to
a
March.
fucking island.
Dumb time to come out too.
What?
You can pay $40 and you get 3 maps.
you can smell
Pretty sure it's 3
desperation.
maps.
When companies start doing things
Maybe
like
it's
this,
4.
Yeah, it's 3 open world maps.
Yeah, open
it
world.
makes me
We don't know what
question
that means.
sandbox.
Well,
Anyway,
the thing is, like, just
You pay,
PS3 is
I think it's
going to sell.
$35, $40. You get that.
Just release some trailers, release some specs,
And then every
release
month
one
following
video,
that, for the next 3 months, they're going to release
give that to
an extra map, an open world map.
I
So
guess
Thailand, the
you know,
US,
in the
and
realm
some
of
other place.
Paris or something.
No, I think Paris is in the original.
Well, we got
okay.
way off topic.
Anyway,
This all started with
you can
Hey,
either
what
pay
games
the $40
and somehow
plus
we got
an extra
back to
$29
Yeah.
to get. I don't.
Okay,
So you're
so
playing
you
Metal
pay
Gear.
the
Yep.
$40 up front. I think it's $35 American.
You've completed the
And
first.
or no, it's
ending.
$29.99 American. You pay it up front.
Completed the
You get
chap-
the
yeah,
I want
got
to try
to
it
the end of
package.
chapter
Comes with the
one.
3
The
maps.
fake ending.
And then if you really, really like it, you can buy the okay, I want the
can play
rest
between
package,
Yeah.
which is
pretty much
$30.
every day.
Which gives you all the bonus.
the
maps.
bonus shit that's coming out after.
Yeah.
Or you can be like I'm the ultimate Hitman fan and buy the entire thing for $60.
I mean, you
So,
have
and
to
who's
buy
going to do that? Because basically, you're paying $60, and
should we go
I'm not going to give them $60 for an incomplete game.
No.
There's no
entire
guarantee that these
podcast
maps are going to come out.
I think
Unless
we
they can
just do it.
write me a contract
there's no
guaranteeing that, yes, they're going to release this. Because what if, it doesn't sell?
My favorite
Yeah,
game
same.
franchise.
What happens then? Are they going to
We
just
could have
like
a
give
whole-
up on the game and, no, that's it,
Maybe
too
we
bad.
should,
Be like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't agree with that. It's a very Kickstarter way
We're
of
doing
doing
a
something.
meeting right now.
Yeah.
I don't
like,
know.
this is-
You know, whatever happened to just being like, hey, the new Hitman, because like the last Hitman game was great, Absolution or whatever,
In the near
and like,
future.
just do that. Just release the game at $60. You know.
No, we will do that.
Yeah,
we will do
Metal Gear,
a.
talk about.
We'll do that soon. We'll do one dedicated straight to Metal Gear.
Yeah. So that's all I want to get into about
I think we both have some mixed feelings on that game. So.
that game, it abuses me, and I still go back.
So as I said, it is October now. October's going to see some pretty big
Pretty
game releases.
decent releases, yeah.
Starting with the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah, the fucking crazy thing about that game, it comes out on a Friday. It's
like-
October 9th. Is a Friday.
Oh yeah, that's out next week.
Yeah, it's out next week, man.
Oh wow.
And I just got done playing the demo, which gives you a little bite-sized piece of Uncharted 2, and man, they did an incredible job with what I got to see. Those games have Uncharted 2, that part at least has aged incredibly well.
So I see the reviews are starting to come in for that now, and yeah, everyone seems to, 8s, 9s, 10s.
I watched a couple reviews and they're like, oh, there's no supplement features. Basically, there's no like documentaries or character bios. Basically, things you can go on the internet and find. And that's what a lot of people. In the multiplayer, there's no multiplayer.
Yeah, and like the Uncharted multiplayer was never bad, but I don't care.
It's not what you played Uncharted for.
Yeah.
If you came to me and be like, yeah, I bought a PS3 just for Uncharted 2 multiplayer, I would punch you in the dick. I would just uppercut to your crotch because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So October starts with Uncharted.
Uncharted Collection comes out next week. I need something to play. And Halo 5 comes out this month. That's insane.
That's right. I keep thinking Halo's November, but it's October.
Halo 5 comes out on the 27th. And like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm really torn between this Halo game from what I've seen from it. But it's still an event to me. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, Halo's coming out. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty exciting. But
Okay.
Unfortunately, it comes out on the same day as wrestling.
Yeah. WWE 2K16
Comes out on the same day.
is out in October, which a lot of people had issues with last year's version. I didn't mind it so much.
Well, I mean, granted, I think we had this conversation. We haven't played a wrestling game in like 10 years.
Yeah, like I haven't been keeping up with the series. I think the last one I played was like SmackDown versus Raw. So this was like a whole fresh new thing to me, and it was glitchy, but you know what? Those old games were really glitchy too, and I played the shit out of those. So
I had a lot of fun with it. I love the showcase thing. You could go back and play the showcase, and I don't know. Like the thing that kind of concerns me with this is that who's developing it? Is it Ukes?
whoever's been doing it.
Yeah.
No, is it? I don't know.
Or is it Vicaril Studios?
I have no idea actually.
They're not showing a whole lot of the game.
Yeah, they
That's a
never
little-
usually did. Though.
No, but I mean, the game comes out in like 3 weeks. And it's like, they haven't showed any divas, no That's a little concerning.
Yeah.
They're still going to end up getting my money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's one of those games we're gonna buy regardless.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a quick look at it or something.
That'd be fun, yeah.
Maybe we'll take a look at it and record a video of that. Who knows? What else? Rock Band 4 is out this month.
Yeah, Rock Band 4. Oh, and Guitar Hero.
Is that out this month too?
That's the last time I read a release date for that. It was out this. It is coming out in October.
Isn't that weird? Tony Hawk just came out, Pro Skater 5, which maybe we'll get into that a little later. But there's two games, Guitar Hero and Tony Hawk. They're both older franchises. There was no marketing.
Same publisher, yeah.
No marketing behind either one of those games.
And it's a shame too because Guitar Hero Live, I've only ever seen the one trailer.
Yeah.
That they released when it was first announced.
Yeah, talk about a game they have not shown much of. Is that? I mean,
maybe it's not coming out this month anymore. But I don't know. I kind of want to play it. I want to see what it's all about.
I'm more excited for that than I am Rock Band.
Rock Band looks like Rock Band.
Yeah, it looks like more of the same.
The cool thing about Rock Band though is you can download all your songs.
Yeah, but a lot of the new tracks, I haven't been excited. Even for Guitar Hero, the tracks that were announced, I'm just like, meh.
Yeah, I mean, to get the licensing and shit for that, I can imagine it's a pain in the dick. But like, I don't know, I'll play it if somebody buys it. I'm not gonna go and spend $150 on it.
Yeah, I'd say for October, but that's a pretty jam-packed month.
It's a lot of money. I mean, if you plan to get Halo 5, Wrestling, and Uncharted, those games are $80 a piece.
In Canada, yeah.
Yeah. In Canada, we pay a lot for our games.
Hey, it could be worse. It could be Australia.
Australia, I think we're up there with them now.
Yeah, we're sadly getting up there. I don't know. I thought maybe we could just scroll through some news stories quickly. I say quickly, but we usually get on a rant.
I like ranting.
Just go through some news and get our thoughts on some of this stuff.
I know you're looking at it right now, but remember when that rumor of the BioShock HD collection was coming out?
I do, yep.
Oh man. Talk about an HD collection that does need to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see that. That would be pretty cool.
BioShock 1, 2, and 3 were all great games.
Although, you know what? Well, I have 2 and Infinite on PC, and those are still really good looking.
Really good games. Yeah, I'd probably sit down and play through them again. I like them a lot.
Yeah, the other day I was like, I want to play through BioShock 1 again.
Yeah, it's so moody and like the game even back in 2007 was still old school enough that I think it'll carry on.
Yeah, still one of the top 3 games of last gen.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I just wanted to mention that.
Is that actually a thing that's happening?
That is, they say November.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's hope.
I'll pick that up then. So just like I said, go through some new stuff here. So maybe we won't spend very long on this stuff.
I think the next time we should have a bucket of chicken.
Just a bucket of chicken?
Yeah, and then they can listen to us like smacking our lips on beautiful KFC chicken.
KFC. Yes, Assassin's Creed Syndicate will have a microtransaction.
I like how that's a news story. Hey, by the way, you can spend $79.99 on their game, and you can spend more after the fact that it's out.
Hey, you know that company that likes to rip people off? Yeah, they're gonna rip you off.
but
There's an article.
Will it have a season pass as well? So it's like $79.99 for the game, $29.99 for the season pass, plus the microtransaction.
Seriously, at this point, who cares about Assassin's Creed?
No, I can't imagine anybody coming up to me and be like, "Holy fuck, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is out tomorrow." Like, I can't imagine anybody being that excited.
To me, the whole series fell off after 3, starting with 3. But what's sad about this one is this has the coolest setting. This is the setting that everyone since the very beginning has been saying, "Oh no, this should be Victoria." Like, everyone has wanted that for so long, and now I don't even care.
Yeah, I'm like, who fucking cares, Ubisoft? Shut up, go home.
It's just...
Release another fucking Rayman game, please.
Yeah, really.
Like, God.
What's his name on song there? The guy... I don't know. What's he working on? Soma, which came out, was it a week ago or last week? 2 weeks ago? I don't know.
I think it was last week.
Yeah, it was last week. has already sold 92,000 copies.
That's fucking stupid. That's retarded.
So
Man.
good for those guys.
Frictional Games.
Yeah, they're doing.
Love that name.
They're doing all right for themselves.
Yeah, that's good. I heard Soma was good.
Yeah, Soma's. I definitely want to check it out. Where it's October, I kind of want to start playing some more of these scary games, and there'll be a lot more videos coming to YouTube and our website, LazyGiants.com. It's a little plug there. Buy my book now. No.
Autographed version for $39.95.
We definitely want to start doing some more, some looks at games and post some of those videos up there. I know it's just audio so far, but
Fuck it. Look at the pictures.
yeah, there's some video coming soon. Trust me. As I said, we already talked about Nathan Drake collection comes out next week.
Oh my god.
Getting good reviews. Surprise, surprise! PlayStation VR developing games with full-on action is pretty tough.
Wasn't that the CEO of like Sony Japan?
I think
recently?
Yoshida said that.
No fucking shit. Like I don't know. I don't think. I mean, obviously VR is not going to take off right away, you know. But to make a game like Call of Duty, we'll say, work with VR, I don't.
There's the issue right there, though. Right there, if developers think with that mindset, VR will not work. If no one can go in, I don't want a production guy to come in, say, Bobby, is it Bobby Kotick?
Bobby Kotick, yeah.
Why do I always want to call him Robert? I don't know why.
Well, Bobby, Robert, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Bobby, Call of Duty, VR. No. Forget about it. No. You can't just slap VR onto something because it's going to suck. That game needs to be developed
made from the ground up.
ground up VR.
It's just not going to work. You can't take Call of Duty, slap VR in it, slap it on the person's face.
Yeah, and we're going to get so much of that.
And that's, well, I mean, we kind of see it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I hate that. When they just start slapping VR around. VR needs to be built from the ground up with VR in mind.
Yeah. These big companies, Activision, EA and stuff, they're going to give VR a bad name because people are going to play these games, these like Call of Duty or whatever, and it's going to have VR support and it's going to be garbage. And people are going to be like, you know what, VR is not actually that great. When in reality, VR games are pretty sweet. So
When they're built from the ground
yeah, when they're built. Scalebound apparently was in the works for years. They had 2 or 3 prototypes that were canceled.
Scalebound's the weirdest game in the world, man. Like, that's done by Platinum, right?
Yep.
And Platinum are awesome. I've pretty much loved every Platinum game I've ever played. And Scalebound, you know, when you first see it, you're like, oh, it's like Devil May Cry. But then when you see the actual gameplay, you're like, fuck, that is weird. I don't know what that is. And that kind of intrigues me. Because I know it's not going to be like every other hack and slash game out there. It's kind of got something different that, you know, will I buy it? Probably not. But I'll definitely keep my eye on it.
It's an interesting game for Microsoft to pour money into.
Yeah, that is Xbox only. Well, fuck no, nobody's going to buy it.
That's the thing. Like, I don't feel like there's any hype around this game. But I guess that's all Platinum games. So
It's true, and their games are always phenomenal. They always put a lot of work in.
their games just sort of get released and they're great.
And you're like, wow, this game got 9s and 10s.
And they don't sell. Like Bayonetta 2 was, my favorite game of that year. No one. That game sold like 12,000 copies.
Yeah, well, it's because it was stupid. It was on a stupid Nintendo console. But other than that, it was a great game.
Not a whole lot. There's a new firmware update. 3.0 is now live for PlayStation. I checked it out. Not a whole lot of changes.
I don't get the firmware updates.
Well, sometimes they're adding cool things.
Yeah, no, it just like takes too much of my time.
Yeah, I just feel like.
I mean, my PlayStation right now is legit a Metal Gear Solid 5 machine. That's all it's for.
EA have confirmed that no, there is not a Burnout HD collection.
That's the dumbest thing in the world I've ever heard.
Well, the dumbest thing in the world is that there's not going to be a new Criterion Burnout game. That's
the dumbest thing in the world. Like, Criterion, what was it, 2 years ago now, E3? They're like, oh yeah, by the way, Criterion's a fucking game studio. Don't forget about them. And then it showed like behind the scenes footage, and there was like all this like fucking like prototype shit. And they're like, yeah, you can like parachute and drive a car and stuff. And it's like, what are you talking about? What is this, like early prototype that just caused like?
Yeah, that was a really bad E3 for EA there.
Yeah.
They showed off some prototypes and that was about it.
And I'm like, and nobody, the audience were just dumbfounded. Like, why are you fucking telling us? We don't care.
Yeah. That was about an hour and a half of wasted time.
And then that was the same E3. They're like, oh, by the way, we're making Star Wars games.
Oh, and there's a Mass Effect game coming.
I love EA.
And we're being run by James Bond villains.
That's right, Mr. Bond. Do you want to? Oh, did you read that Star Wars Battlefront is 7 gigs? That's interesting, because there's this whole thing now. Ever since Tony Hawk came out, there's this thing. How much fucking hard drive space does your game take up?
Yeah, that seems to be a thing. There was it was announced that the Nathan Drake collection is going to be like 44 gigs or something like that. And people are freaking their shit.
Yeah, they're just like, holy fuck, what am I supposed to do?
Well, guess what? Uncharted 3 was 35 gigs alone on PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
so.
like, what the hell you got, like... Have you guys ever played a Sony game? Have you ever played The Last of Us on PS4? That thing takes up 45 gigs.
Yeah, that was a big game.
Who cares? Like, especially like disc-based people. Like, I'm a disc-based guy. I love my disc. I'll just delete the fucking thing, throw my disc in again. You know what I mean? Except for GTA 5, that thing takes up 60 gigs and takes too long to install.
Yeah, I mean, people are complaining on the Nathan Drake collection, the Master Chief collection.
Oh man,
it's like 80 gigs.
No, it's bigger than that. Yeah, no, it is 80 gigs. You're right. It's like 60 gigs.
It's like 2 Nathan Drake collections.
Plus 19 gigs worth of updates.
So, it's like, let's not even start complaining about that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was... that whole, like, how big is your game battle is happening. Like, there's been... Fallout 4 was released as about 28 gigs. And everyone's like, oh my god, that's not even that big.
I remember when Skyrim came out. The fact that game fit on one disc on Xbox 360 was insane.
Yeah, the game is only 7 gigs. Like, it's nothing... I don't know. I think it's basically like, well, my cock is bigger than your cock. And that's all it is. Like,
And people forget, like, games like Uncharted and like, quote-unquote cinematic games, they usually are bigger files because audio and stuff takes up a lot of space. So people forget that. And Uncharted has a lot of music, a lot of dialogue. I know I'm not saying Fallout doesn't, but...
well, I think with Fallout, like, it's going to be 28 gigs, and then there's probably going to be about a 300 gig reserve for all the patches it's going to get to work.
Yeah, I actually want to talk about Fallout a little. We won't do it this time, but I do have a lot of concerns about that game, and I think everyone really should. But
it doesn't matter.
Are there any more news stories that you can think of that you want to talk about before we move on here?
No.
All right. So what I thought we'd do then is we'll end each one of these game podcasts, and we'll start doing with the movie ones as well, where one of us will take turns, has a topic for each episode. This episode, I'll have the topic, and the next episode, you can have the topic, and then...
I'm confused.
So...
Wait, can you just slow down a little bit?
All right, 1 + 1.
Step 1.
Okay, so my topic for this episode, and this will be the last thing we talk about here. And we don't have to spend a lot of time on this one either, but we're talking about game size. It's a little different, but sort of similar to that, in that the length of a game.
Oh, I love this one.
So it was announced that Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the Xbox One exclusive, comes out in November.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out day and date with Fallout 4, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal Dynamics have said it will take 15 to 20 hours to complete the story mode of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
That's a long time.
Yeah, which to
a
me,
lot of game there.
I mean that's a lot of tomb raiding. But because that game is coming out day and date with what will be a bloated behemoth Fallout 4, it's getting a lot of criticism, and people, I check the forums and stuff, and a lot of people are saying, 15 to 20 hours, who's going to buy that over Fallout 4, which is going to be like 200 plus hours.
Yeah.
What is your stance on game length?
Yeah, I'm in the boat that a game is only as long as it needs to be. To me, when Tomb Raider is going to be like a 20-hour story, I was like, holy fuck, that's a lot of game. And then I just read on another website that it's actually about 40 hours of content in that game. And I was like, man, that's a lot of content. To me, that's a lot of content. Like, but again, if the game is entertaining for that entire 20 hours, say, for that storyline, and it keeps me engaged, fuck yeah. But, I think to me a game is only as long as it needs to be. I think, there's a particular game on the edge of my tongue that I love. I love The Order 1886. How long did that game take?
We're both fans of the Order.
Yeah, that game was fucking awesome. It was 5 hours long. I beat it 5 hours. No problem. And at the end of that game, I was like, holy shit. I was like, that was fucking sweet. Like, they were introducing vampires and fucking, dude.
That's actually what I forgot. That game got trashed.
Yeah.
Forced to One.
People hate that game solely on the fact that it is 5 to 8 hours long. And I think a lot of people try to hide the fact that they hate that game. Be like, oh, it's like there's nothing new. They're not introducing anything new. No, but the game actually told a pretty sweet storyline if you sat down and paid attention.
So my whole thing on this is I agree with you that a game is as long as it should be. Personally, the shorter the better for me.
Just like if it's 3 hours long, sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
move on to the next one.
I mean, I get a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say this, but we'll talk about this in the Metal Gear. Metal Gear is way too long.
Too long.
Way too long.
Longest game I've ever played.
To me, you could cut. Honestly, to me, 20 hours could be cut from that game, and it would be a lot better. But I talk to people, and they think I'm crazy, and I think I'm joking when I say this. Is that a lot of these big games like Uncharted and Tomb Raider and stuff like that? If these games were max 5 hours, 3 to 5 hours, I would be happy.
Yeah.
And people say, really, you're paying $60, $70 for what is 3 to 5 hours? Yep. I'm fine with it.
Yep.
If because I haven't played a game yet that I can think of that hasn't worn out its stay. Every game I play, I reach a point in that game. Zelda games are always bad for this. Where it just feels like you can just feel the developers just adding in filler. Just, all right, we got to extend this out. Just extend this out a little bit. I just cut all that out. Just cut all the fat and just give me the 3 to 5 hours of just greatness.
Yeah, and it's just awesome the whole way.
Yes. Is that worth $70? Absolutely. I pay, a movie ticket's now like $15 for a movie ticket now.
12, 15.
You get like an hour and a half of what might be a good movie, what might not be. You're sitting in a theater with annoying people around you and talking and like.
Except for the movies we see, there's no.
Yeah, watch the movie or listen to the movie podcast.
You'll know. Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's a game is only as long as it needs to be. Like Metal Gear is a fucking. I work full time. I have a kid, but Metal Gear Solid 5 is my other full time job.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm not saying a game is bad. I'm not saying a game is bad if it's 200 plus hours long. I'm just saying if the game is going to be 200 plus hours long, it better have a good reason for being that
200,
long.
yeah.
I don't want to grind. I don't want to have filler and have like 5 good hours or 10 good hours and then 150 hours of shit.
Well,
like,
the thing too with like games that are really long. Okay, I think other than Metal Gear Solid 5, the most time I've ever put into another game was 65 hours, and it was Kingdoms of Amalur. All that game is one big filler. It's basically the combat's really good, the magic's really fun to do, and the world's kind of fun to explore, and that's all the game is. There's no real story. But after a point in that game, I was just like, fuck this. I'm never going to beat this, and just gave up on it. But thankfully, Metal Gear Solid, it's a series I can stick with. I'm gonna go through that. But like you said, like Zelda is fucking bloatware. Bloatware. They intentionally drag the tutorial out in the beginning of those games to make it longer. I know they do, and they're laughing at us. But yeah, no, there's no game that I've ever played that was 200 hours that I've ever beaten. Yeah. I've never beaten Fallout New Vegas. I've never beaten Fallout 3. I've never beaten Skyrim because that game's garbage. But
you reach a point of it's just the repetitiveness.
You're just like, holy crap.
Like I have a very short attention span for things like that. Like if I'm not being constantly blown away, or constantly entertained, or given a reason to care.
That's the big one. That's why. Why am I playing this game for 100 hours?
Yeah, like you can throw me into a gigantic world and just say, hey, have fun. That's why I don't play Minecraft, because I'm like, I don't have any reason to care.
Yeah, there's no storyline, there's no characters, there's nothing to keep you engaged.
There's nothing to grasp onto, it's just,
But it's the MMO fans, I think, really enjoy.
I think we're just getting, like, we're out of touch. We are the ones
We're the old farts.
Yeah, we are the ones that have touch. It's like, you talk to a kid, all they want to do is create things in Minecraft. So.
Yeah, but the thing is like, we are the generation that made video games what they are today. And God damn it, they will please us, fuck's sakes. No, but luckily that I've never once complained about the length of a game when I finished it.
A good game.
Yeah, like, honestly, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, I'd be that game in an hour and a half. I can. I'll show you my fucking save file. And I would sit there and beat that game multiple times a day. I would sit there and beat Resident Evil 2 multiple times a day.
Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4, man, I'd fucking play that game with my eyes closed. And just because it's a good game. And I don't care, it's 10 hours long. Well, I've beaten that game 26 times on my memory card, so fuck off. It's an awesome game.
So basically what we're saying is the length of the game does not matter.
Does not make
it should not matter.
It shouldn't matter, but it does.
Like, there's always talking, video games are art and all this shit. Well, that's not going to be the case until people stop complaining about the length of games.
There's very few artistic video games out there.
Yeah, if a game wants to be an hour long and it wants to cost $70, don't judge the game. Don't give the game a low score because you don't want to spend $70 on it. Judge the game on the product that it is. Does it do what it's intended to do within that hour? If it does, it's a good game.
So basically, don't pull a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. That's one of those games that just screw the consumer over.
Anyway, this is something we're both in agreement with, it seems. But again, like I said,
no one has died.
We're both out of touch with what the hell's going on in the games industry, and we both work in the games industry. So
yay! We know what's going on.
So I think we're going to wrap it up here. This has been the first episode of our video game cast. Check back next week, and we'll have another.